Hey guys, it's Hailee Steinfeld, and you're listening to ICRT FM 100.
ICRT. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to ICRT's Reaching Out series, where we reach out to an artist either halfway or all the way around the world. I'm Joey. You're awesome. And today we have an even awesomer guest who's going to join us here online. It's the uber talented and beautiful Hailee Steinfeld.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Hailee, thank you for joining us. We talk about you a lot here, by the way. Such a talented artist.
No, thank you.
Yeah, so before we get into the music, let's talk about this room. I love the decor. Where are you right now?
Thanks. I'm at home in California. And yeah, I'm doing okay, hanging in there, making the best of every day. Can't wait to get back to normal, as we all can.
Yeah, it's a strange time for the world. But hey, you earned yourself a well-deserved break. I mean, you've been so busy with projects in the last couple of years.
Oh, thank you. It definitely has been nice to sort of, I guess, be forced to just slow down and take a moment. So, yeah, I've sounds feels weird to say, but I've been okay with it.
Yeah, and we're more than okay with having your music to enjoy now. So it's an EP called Half Written Story, which of course begs the question, where's the other half? But we'll let you announce whether or not there's going to be another half coming out. And we find the phrase Half Written Story in the song Your Name Hurts, the second track to the album, mentioned a couple of times. Do you remember exactly when the phrase Half Written Story came to you?
Well, it definitely did come from, that lyric in Your Name Hurts, for a half-written story without any ending. You left me to figure it out. It's probably one of my favorite lyrics on the project. I don't know. I just feel like this is about, an experience in my life that truly just sort of came to an end and didn't have there was no closure. There was no sense of an ending. It just ended out of nowhere, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And this is what sort of, these songs are what I felt. That's kind of what I walked away with. And also, there's two sides to every story, and this is mine.
Okay. Oh, so it's a half story because it's your side of the story. Now, there are 5 songs to the EP, and since it's a story about loss of love, I was wondering, Hailee, does it have anything to do with the 5 stages of grief? Denial, anger.
That's so funny you say that. No, actually, but knowing and actually like referring back to those 5 stages, just not even necessarily in the writing process, but just in my experience of trying to get through it. I was aware of what those were, but it actually, funny enough, didn't necessarily have anything to do with the fact that there are 5 tracks.
Ah, damn. So missed with that guess. Because, I was ready to say that if Your Name Hurts were a song about denial, then the next track on the album, Man Up, is definitely a song about anger. Even if you didn't mean to write it as a 5-stage process, we can definitely feel which part of the process Man Up belongs to.
Yeah, man, listen, I think we all go through that one part of, an experience. Hopefully, I mean, listen, I hope nobody goes through or feels what I felt, but I guess in ways it's almost like it's a rite of passage. But yeah, there's definitely that time you hit where, you're all of these emotions. You're sad and you're alone and you're lonely and you're frustrated and confused and you're a little angry and you're pissed off, and it's all out of your just you're hurt. That's a song I actually had so much fun writing, because it was all in good light from the beginning. It's obviously a very, cheeky song. And one thing about, as far as the track listing goes, the project ends with a song called Wrong Direction. And one of my favorite lines in that song is the very first line in that song, which is, I don't hate you and I couldn't if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And, I think that sort of, with Man Up, kind of even more proves the point that was that time, that small period of time where I was really angry and really hurt. But it's still, again, like nothing but love in the end, always. So
yeah. Wrong Direction is definitely a closure song. So we come out of every relationship feeling like we've learned something. And I think this is a very reflective album of what you were going through and you've learned from. So the timing of this release seems to suggest that you were shooting the Apple TV series Dickinson while you were writing some of the songs. So we have to talk about it. You're obviously a big fan of Emily Dickinson, I take it.
Imagine I hate her work. I just cannot stand it. No, I admire it and have so much respect for it. Playing her in our show has been such a wild ride. I mean, it's this is our version of Emily Dickinson, and it's in no way a straightforward biopic. It's our interpretation of what might have been going through that wild mind of hers when she was writing these poems. So the show is, I mean, it's so fun and weird and cool and funny and dark. I mean, it touches on so many relevant themes, which I think is so cool. You watch this show and don't realize that it takes place in the time that it does. You could easily feel like it takes place now, which is, I don't know. I think that's pretty cool about it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it matters what era you're in. People tend to go through the same emotions and ask themselves the same questions. And Emily Dickinson was someone who was very candid about her emotions. Unfortunately, she lived in a time that didn't allow for it. But do you feel like she inspired parts of the album in that sense?
I definitely I'll have these sort of full circle moments where I find, how my acting career sort of benefits the music career in ways like that. And I don't think I necessarily realized it when it was happening, but afterwards, I think definitely having embodied this character that was so fearless about speaking her truth. I think that definitely played a part in, my process in writing this.
Yeah, and you also get very wordsmithy, like Emily Dickinson, with your album, namely the track "And This L.O.V.E." where you took a chapter out of Nat King Cole's L.O.V.E., but spelt out the initializations with completely different words and given a completely different meaning to L.O.V.E. So first off, I L.O.V.E. that song. And how about let's play a game? Let's play a game where with those same letters, L.O.V.E., can you spell out the next few things? Can you spell out an animal that you like, a drink that you like, a place you want to visit after this all blows over, and how you're feeling right now, like a mood that you're in?
Okay. Yeah. So an animal that starts with an L.
Or OVE. Like you can use any of the four letters. Yeah, but you can only use it once.
Damn, dude. That's so hard. Okay, wait. Okay, I'm gonna write this out so I can see it.
Okay. By the way, I didn't think about how hard this might be before I designed it or before we started playing it. Oh no.
Dude, this is so hard. Can you do this?
No, I can't. I'm just a guy on the radio. You're the poet here, Emily Dickinson. Okay, why don't we do this together? Why don't we do this together? So why don't we take 2 letters each?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go for 1. I'll take O, and for an animal, I'll do ostrich.
Okay.
Okay. Now for you, you have to name a drink, a place, or a mood with LVE.
I'm gonna go with place, and I'll go with L, and that would be London.
Oh, nice, good choice. So that's where you want to go after the lockdown. Yeah. Okay. Okay, my turn. Oof, this is getting hard now that I have to man up and think about this.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna take the hard letter. I'm gonna take V, and I'm gonna go for a drink. Vodka.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Okay, your turn. Okay, with E.
We're left with a mood.
A mood, yeah, how you're feeling today or generally these days.
I feel like, evolving is the mood. I feel like I'm evolving.
That's a good one. That's perfect, actually, because after this album, this EP, Have Written Story, you've evolved, from this past love, you've evolved into a new Hailee Steinfeld. And when this all blows over, hopefully you'll evolve as an actor as well. We'll get to see more of your work, more of your music. Hailee, thank you so much for joining us here on ICRT today.
Thank you, Joey. Thanks so much.